probably, I'll break down exactly what led me to take this trade, which was the last trade of January, which led me to be up 4% for the month, and it was either going to lead me to be break even or +4, because I was up 2, I risked 2, so therefore if I was putting 2 on the table and I took a loss, I would have lost 2, and I would be down 2, so therefore I'd be at 0. If I win, I gain 2. I would risk 2 to make a lose 2% of the account that I'm on. A quote assigned to the given asset, which in this case was GBP USD, which has got $75k allocated to. I risk 2% of each account, which is a 50 and 25. And yeah, but overall across the board, I like do my performance right over. So like over GU and EU. And anyway, yeah, I took another win, so therefore, as you can see, which I showed all in advance, which I'll show. I guess I'll show that first, so you see the legitimacy, and you're not just sitting through this for it to be some shit. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, I'll show that first. So what I'll do is I'll send the screenshots to this account, because I'll just keep this over. Who knows what that guy's like. And I will send this. So yeah, this was done real time, but I didn't send anything relative to this Discord that I can show, like on this account, because I use my phone account, which is the one that you're looking at. So I'll send the things. So this was that. Oh wait, no, that was in the middle. So yeah, hang on. I did actually post it on my YouTube posts, by the way, when I entered too, which was all in advance. But yeah, I said, I think I've even got screenshots where I said I was setting limits. And I had set my limit here, and here, and here. This is all valid proof. And yes, I've got some proof here, I've got some proof here. And what's most important is the profit receipts, which is this. So here we go. So we'll go through this first before I break down the intent comprising each of the pushes, which I've already done, which was done brilliantly. Anyway, I also had some stuff on Telegram too, but I think you get the gist here. I think yeah, I've set limits, so I don't need to go on Telegram to prove blah 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 blah. But yeah, I set my limits around this region. I think it was a few ticks different on the 50k. I didn't want to see the market push to the blue line that you just seen. Like, so basically before pushing to the limit, I didn't want, if it pushed here first and then maybe even just a bit below, I would have just scrapped it, but no, it didn't. This was the high or something like that. Maybe it was a bit and a slight few ticks higher it went or something. I can't remember. Oh no, yeah. You can see, yeah. So yeah, it went a few ticks higher, and then anyway, yeah, it didn't come to the region where I would just sack it off. And then anyway, yeah, set the limits. I got back from where I was out at, and I seen I was tagged. So yeah. Anyway, and then I sent. I think I even sent it. Yeah, I did. Good. Yeah, so I did. So there we go. And then anyway, you see the profit receipts, and you see obviously the after fact at the start. So that we made 1,000 there, and then we made 500 there. But this also has commission, so that I don't know why. Whatever. Blah 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 blah. But I instantly paid for a commission account. So so I guess we'll go down. We'll break down exactly how the market was set up and what led me to conclude the most probable direction poised to prevail over 7 till 10 European morning trading session, just as I do every single day, Monday to Friday, and how I've been doing it since June. Consistently profitable, I should say. So I didn't go on the monthly, 2-week, weekly on this occasion. I just didn't. First of all, the weekly bar was more close that I'd be setting up as done versus not, as of because it was on Friday. And then out of the 432 day, the most recent bar close was the 2 days. So that's the most recent info presented to us today, aka like talking as if it was Friday. that we can go off that's most recently confirmed. Because, however, the 4-day in, I mean, well, like the 4-day previous most recent bar closed, you see, and it's kind of like old data because there's new data available, right, which you can see right at the 2-day, and you don't want to go off the in-play 4-day bar because that's subject to change. For all we know, this bar could, like, well, oh no, it won't. So yeah, well, anyway, yeah, you get the gist. I don't analyse the in-play bar, I assess the most recent bar close because that's just the finalised info. Now, anyway, we see that we had this previous Saturn push to the downside, which was comprised of more consecutive time periods whereby market participants had maintained the same sort of consistent, repetitive intent for consecutive time periods in a row, whereby they were willing to just continue to trade the price, favor pairing up and trading with one side of the market's contract over the other for consistent repetitive time periods, and it led to more time periods pushing in one direction over the other compared to the previous Saturn push. And then the market became overextended territory, meaning the prices that the market was sat at are overextended, and it's like we want to really see how participants are showing us with regard to whatever price action unfolds, showing us how they are willing to trade with the market whilst it's sat at that overextended territory, right? And yeah, anyway, so like once it's traded past the most recent previous and pushes range low in this case or high, it becomes an impulse. And obviously, however the in-play art and push itself is structured leads us to conclude whether it's likely to keep impulsing, or if it hadn't closed in the previous and push and it retracing for and yeah, so ultimately it all boils down to assessing how the in-play and push is set up, but obviously then that can fall under specific categories such as the impulse, retracement, or continuation. Obviously an impulse is just where, for example, I'll just quickly draw it, we got it like this, like that. So this was previous and push, it became an impulse here, then the way participants started to trade, like set the push up as done, and then it reversed, and then as here it was just retracing, and then this push setup is done. Because of the bullish in-play and push structure, it's now coined as a continuation. But whether it actually does continue, and it's also like a retrace too, but whether it actually does continue is subject to however participants trade like and contribute to the configuration of each of the bars comprised within the in-play and push, and whether they're set up like built on top of each other in the way that is set up to continue pushing, showing us that like they're no longer there's no signs with regard to how they're trading that would suggest that they're no longer not willing to continue to keep on trading in the same way. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, and then the way they trade here amongst like with the prices what are available on this occasion, like of how like the market traded to this region, like it's overextended, like it's tired, it's like the participants are susceptible to becoming tired at this region with the prices what are available, and then they show us that like yeah, okay, they're no longer willing to keep selling, and then pop it up and then set this push up is done here. And anyway, yeah, this next bar was a bit iffy considering the big wick rejection. Like it's like are participants actually ready to continue keep trading to the upside? And then yeah, it's validated here. They might not be willing to do so, but it is a bit iffy considering of where as a whole you're situated, like considering like participants have already shown us that like they're no longer willing to continue selling at these prices, and that rather they are more likely they've already shown like decided like recently that they're no longer willing to continue to trade with the prices in the same way as they were beforehand, and yeah, and then they're just like without properly retracing or whatever, like they've then traded in a bearish way, so it is a bit iffy. And I'll do the analogy of like, for example, an old person, like, you know, this is like the early days, and it's just like really it's full of energy, and it's just like to keep pushing, kind of hits like an inflection point here, and then kind of retraces a bit, and then it gets some steam, but it's like, is there really momentum behind this or not? You know, it's like, is it just like a second wind, which you just really want to play it by bar. That's the case with this. And I said this all way better in the first video, so this is just like a bit of a worse video. But yeah, it's the same thing. And anyway, yeah, this push became set to the downside, became set up as done as a how trader like here. And obviously this push is now an impulse, but like it's kind of weird because like it's amongst this. It's just also kind of like a retrace. Decided to keep pushing to the upside. Really, no signs with regard to how traders trade like had suggested that they were not willing to continue to keep buying. Anyway, as of the most recent 2-day bar close, they had traded in the fashion of where they set this push up as done, and the prices that were available in this region up to at least the 0.5 as of this most recent bar close of this push are likely to be perceived as of worth to sell at, basically relative to 2-day time intervals. And yeah, so, but obviously, like, whether the market does actually trade at the 0.5 region is subject to how like next bars close. But as of here, it's good. It's at least pushed around here. Well, obviously the 0.5 is there. But yeah, so that's the 2-day. So it was bearish, and then the daily was also bearish too. You've kind of got some short-term structure going on here, but it's just likely to keep pushing lower. As I showed with my cursor. The 12-hour, by the time I had dropped to the 12-hour real time, I was like, yeah, okay, we're probably bearish today because look at this. You got to push to the downside, that setup is done here. Push to the upside, that then setup is done based on this bar close. And then you've just got a consecutive next bar where participants have maintained the same intent. And basically it's shown no signs to stop willing to continue trading the same way they are. On top of how the 2-day is set up too. Which has started a region amongst like an over like a nicely expanded push to the upside. That setup is done, and participants were no longer willing to continue to trade on the buy side. With then the 12 and the daily setup like this, it's likely that the market just keeps pushing lower. But then you get to the 8-hour and you got a different picture. More structures revealed to how participants had actually traded like. And you see these pushes here. You've got some short-term structure going on, and this kind of fits that same thing to keep going on. You know, it's like short-term structure still going on. It's like to keep going on until like a big just change happens, like this kind of like what actually unfolded after the fact. But this was the most recent bar close. 7-hour backed the case up to some degree. It was better than EU. 4-hour. Back the case up massively to push the upside based on the structure revealed truly, you know, high, low, like these are all in play and pushes. I'll just mark it. So here, push the upside. Signs shown here based on like where this in play out and push at the moment in time had pushed to. How like and then like it came over extended territory and impulse territory, and then how traders were willing to trade like in this region suggested that such revealed signs with regard to how they traded like that would suggest that like they were no longer willing to continue to trade in the same way, but would have to verify that with the next bar close. And anyway, yeah, this push to the upside was set was done, and it's just like you keep pushing low until traders trade in a way that suggests otherwise in with regard to the info that unfolds as a result of however they trade like. Yeah, so, you know, of course it wasn't as many consecutive bars in a row that compared to the previous set and push, but, you know, it was enough price coverage, like overextended price coverage in quite a rapid period of time, and it's just like, are participants willing to continue to trade in that same way? And they weren't willing to continue to trade in that way. Based on the signs that they showed here. And yeah, this was a bit iffy just based on where it's situated amongst the previous set and push. And yeah, these prices have already been confirmed, like relative to the most recent previous set and push and play, that they're no longer willing to continue trade. So unless the next bar closes bullish, it's like, yeah, it's really iffy. So you just want to kind of wait for the next bar. Then it resumes the push to the downside, and it's just like you to continue keep pushing, etc, etc, etc. And then it doesn't set up as done until here, and it's just like you continue higher. This push to the upside sets up as done here, and then this push the downside sits done as this motion bar close, blah 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 blah, etc etc etc. And then yeah, as of the motion bar close prior to Friday, it was just likely to continue keep pushing to the upside, which was verified with the 8. The 2 hour also backed that case up nicely, and you can see that there, whatever, it's just bullish. And then the 1 hour, how would be most appropriate to deal with the 1 hour situation that was at hand as a 7 would be to see a simple retrace to the appropriate fib pull at hand and a very very nice 1 hour bar close based on how the 12, the daily and the 2-day are set up. And yeah, so and then anyway here there's like signs relative to also the 12 hour that unfolded that, you know, what would be worthy to go like, okay, really hang fire and be like even more confirmation of looking for a nice 1 hour bar close. And then anyway you get that extremely nice 1 hour bar close that you would need once retraced to the appropriate prices. And then anyway, as of 10 o'clock you would drop down and see whether the most recent 15M bar that closed as of the confirmation bar closed sufficient anatomically, right? What I mean by that is just like the open high low close, that's the anatomy of the bar. It must be very sufficient, you know, so up on the buy side relative to the buy side. And anyway, you see that's the case. So then I conducted BLSM, which is just like you draw a blue line at the low at hand. In this case, you scroll to the left, see the most recent price action to the left. You see it's this. It's very sus. And then you would want to confirm that with scrolling to the left, the next most recent price action to the left, and you see this, a very nice 1 hour close, a very nice 1 hour zone. And anyway, like which I would just draw like this. So I would just draw like that. And then, oops. And you would want to mark about there. Definitely. And then you scroll to the left, see if you can get a 1-to-1 to the highs of the playable range, which was this. You couldn't. So then you'd go to the price which you can, you know, and then that fell on this. And yeah. This was the price which I didn't want to see the market trade to as of here. I know it rejected whatever before pushing to here, and then anyway that's what happened. I executed and then wait, but I did not break this down as well as I did on the first video, which is a bit of a shame because I just kind of got myself into like a flow state. But yeah, I like at this point it's good to do that, but like I really just look at the charts now, and just like it's really good to articulate how market participants have been trading, and then like say that in a way which then can help others see what you're seeing, which then helps you inherently. But I'm not gonna lie, I've been faffing on with my computer since 12 o'clock trying to do the video, and I just can't be arsed at this point. But I have broke it down. That's exactly what I've done, and I don't even think I showed the profit. I think I did actually, but yeah, just in case I didn't, because I can't remember. Here's the point where I entered at. I showed it here before the fact, and then here's the profit receipt, $1,500, and yeah, simple as really at this point for me. Of course, for you it might not be, but I've been doing this for so long. It's not so long, but you know, every single day doing it is quite a long time since June. I know it's not even been a year, but up to that point in June that I had been doing this, it's been many years actually. At least like 2 from up to June, and then obviously it's going on for 3. In fact, it's been more than 3 by June. It was my 3rd year in the December just gone. So because I started then probably, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, by the time it's June this year, we're going on for 4 years. So yeah, that's it. Can't be asked for any more. Just gonna crack on with some research, and that's it. There we go.